Okay, this is a JVS Dicom Server, a quick way to test Dicom testing procedure. The first thing we're going to need to do is load it. So we're going to need to download the JVS Dicom Server exe file. I will walk you through getting that. If you go to your Internet Explorer or any other Explorer, Firefox, Mozilla, you should be able to easily look it up. All you got to do is type in JVS Dicom, not JVC, but JVS. And here you'll see the JVS Dicom server. JVS microscope. Go to the server because you want to act as a PAX station. You don't want to go to the workstation unless you want to act as a workstation sending to PAX. This video is over the server aspect acting as a PAX. Go ahead and save it to your downloads or anywhere else you would like to save it, and then run the exe file to install it. Okay, you'll want to make sure to run this as administrator. If you do not run it as administrator, it might not load correctly. On my Windows 10, I definitely had to run this as administrator, or it did not create the correct folders and would not load correctly. Okay, before we can use this system, just a few prerequisites. You need to make sure that both of your systems are on the same subnet. Also, you need to make sure the IP addresses are just about the same except for the last octave. You'll want to isolate the machines, say it's a C-arm. You'll want to hook it up to your laptop or computer that you're using as an emulator through a crossover cable or a switch. That way there's nothing else that can be causing issues in between. And that's how I have this. Well, I have this one set up actually through my home network, so that really wouldn't count on this one. But that being said, if you're out in the field, you'll definitely want to isolate the machines. That way there is no interference from anything else, and you're not taking someone else's IP address, and you're not messing with the hospital's network scheme. Okay, starting it, it's pretty simple. You can leave all these blank for the default and it'll work just fine, or if you want to save these in certain folders, you can browse to them and put those in there. Like the IP address is your local IP address, the whole 9 yards, but you can change all those settings. Go to JVS Dicom Server, and here's where everything happens as a PAX. You can stop the server. What you want to see is the server running. Again, here you can see the Dicom server in a running state. The issue that I originally had is that it would come up with starting and stay at starting. I had to edit the server preferences to fix this. I will run you through doing that. If you go to edit service preferences, you can see the AE title. Also, you want to make sure to enable the public mode. This will allow transform from anonymous clients. Basically, this will take out the issue of a wrong AE title being inputted. So if we're just testing the machine, the best way to do is enable that. Here you'll see I've already changed it. I just went directly to C, put a folder there called Dicom images, no spaces, and no different weird characters. I had issues before with it. When I tried to load it, it would actually not work with the default because the only thing I think of is it had a space in it and some characters that weren't seen, and all it would do is come up with server status starting. So I did have to go in there to that edit server preferences and change that to directly to a folder or Alpha C. Also, while we're in the config menu, you can also see your global configuration with your port, what everything is set up here in the preferences. Here you see preferences, the port number, localhost, AE title. It's all in here and you can change it. That's for outgoing. For incoming, here's your AE title. And again, make sure that you enable that public mode. All this can be changed, but for us, we're going to leave it as simple as possible. Okay, here is the folder that I created for Dicom images to show up, and I've already transferred some images to this. I'm now going to delete those and resend those on my workstation emulator that I got on another computer going through my network. So I will delete these, and then we'll go ahead and send some Dicom images across to show you how it works. Make sure that the JVS Dicom server is running. Go to log so you can check your log files. Do a refresh and make sure it's clear so that you're not going to get mistaken. Even though it is time stamped, just clear it. That'll leave you with a blank screen. After you make sure that the server status is running, one of the first things I do before I even attempt to send images is to make sure to ping both computers to make sure they're communicating correctly. You want to do that. Just use the simple ping command, and you'll want to ping from both systems and make sure you get a ping back. Here's on my workstation emulator computer. I'm going to ping up to the PAC system that emulator that I've set up. Here I'm going to start up Ginkgo CADX and use it as a workstation to send some images I've already have loaded. Here you can see I have some test images of my cell phone that I did on an install. And I'm going to send that to my PAX emulator. Here in the PAX emulator, the JVS Dicom server, we're going to refresh to see our log files. As you can see in our log files, we have several associations that have come across. They all say successful. Here's where if there's any issues with any kind on the C store. You could have any kind of, it'll come up with some errors in the log files. It'll hopefully tell you a little bit about what is the issue with it. But if it says successful, you should have images to your computer now in your folder that you set up in your preferences. And as you see, I do now. I will now load, and you only have to select one of them. It actually loads the whole folder. So I got an error message for some odd reason, but it still works just fine. And others didn't get. I've seen it where it didn't give error messages also. I don't know why I got an error message, but as you see, the directory has all my cell phone pictures. Now, if you go to show Dicom data, it's going to give you all the Dicom data that you need that is on that image. This is good troubleshooting if you're having issues with the Dicom headers or something to do with the Dicom. You know, the IT is complaining or PAX is complaining. You can pull this up and show it to them and have them tell you where the problem is. But in this instance here, as you see, we have sent images across. Most likely it is not on the machine side. It is on either a setting that they have given you. There's a setting wrong on the machine, or something to do with IT or on the PAX side. Here I'm going to go ahead and send another image just to go through this again. Here's an image of a Phantom. And now I'm going to send it directly over to PAX. So this would be emulating a machine, whether it be a C-arm, X-ray machine, sending across to PAX. And then we're going to go to our PAX emulator and check for this image to make sure we received it. So after you refresh, you'll see that we received one image. Here's where the image came from. And you can see that it was successful. Now if we go look for the image, we'll have to add it. We'd have to go look for it in the file. It's not there. So if you just add existing Dicom file and go to where you're located, update it, you'll see that your image is there. You can tell by the timestamp. So don't worry about that failed message if you do get it. If you don't get it, good. If you do get it, it's just a weird bug. Here, as you can see, there's the image, and here's all our Dicom information. I hope this video helps in any of your Dicom issues that you might have. This emulator will help you to eliminate a machine issue, C-arm, X-ray machine, workstation issue. Basically, if you can send your Dicom image through a Cat5 crossover cable or through a hub directly to your emulator, you should be able to send to PAX. Issues could be wrong information inputted in the unit such as a e-title, IP address. Issues could be something in between with IT, a switch, possibly, but most likely it will not be the machine. If you can send to this through a switch or through a crossover cable, you should be good to go.